Hello everyone, I am April, and today I'm going to be doing my spoiler-filled review of a book that I recently read called The One. This is appearing on Netflix as a series today, so I thought I'd do this little video for you. If you are new to my channel and you like reading books, especially if you like thriller books, I would love to have you here. So hit that subscribe button and you'll see my face more often. So today, let's chat about The One. Now, I recently read this book and I have a lot of thoughts about it. So The One is a bit of a apocalyptic, dystopian, utopian world in which nobody needs to, go dating and go through all sorts of terrible dating experiences anymore, because you can be matched to your one true love via your DNA. You just swab yourself, send it to a lab, and they will match you. And people are doing this around the world. People are leaving their wives and husbands. They're moving on with their lives to try and find their one true love. Now in this book, we follow several characters doing just that, but some of them are matched with rather nasty people. One of them, for example, is a serial killer. So it's a really fun kind of read. Now, I ended up giving this 3 stars. I have mixed feelings about it. I'm going to tell you all the spoilers. So if you haven't read the book or watched the series, stop this video now. I loved the premise of that. I just think it's so ingenious, and John Marrs does that again and again in his books. That's kind of his thing. And it does kind of make you wonder what you would do, if I was single, if I was in a horrible relationship, would I go ahead and do the DNA sample? And I think I probably would. I also really loved that I really wanted to know what happened to all of the characters. Each and every couple that we meet, I wanted to know where this story arc was going, and I needed to flip the pages to get to the end to know for sure. I will say that I did feel like the pacing of this was quite slow. It didn't feel like a thriller to me until very far in, way after the 200-page mark. That's when it felt like a real thriller to me. Up until then, it almost felt like more of a romantic book in some ways. Does that make any sense? It just didn't feel scary in any way to me, except for Christopher the serial killer. Let's talk about some of these characters in here. And we'll start with Christopher, because he's probably my favorite. I like dark and twisted things, and Christopher is very dark and twisted. Christopher is a serial killer, and he is making his way through this town that he lives in and killing people. And he has a number in mind of 30 that he wants to kill. In the meantime, he's also trying to find love and also trying to figure out whether he can love, because he is a psychopath. And I personally liked that he was matched with a police officer. I thought that was really fun. And I also liked that the whole way through, you're wondering if she is going to figure out that he is the killer before he gets to 30. So I really did enjoy that. I thought the dynamics between them were very odd and interesting as well. Now, another character and their relationship that I found interesting was Ellie's. So Ellie, you find out fairly early that she is the inventor of this whole DNA system. I kind of knew that as soon as that woman yelled at her in the street, after her date with Matthew. And when that woman yelled at her, I immediately thought, okay, she must be the person who owns the entire thing. I did think the whole way through, because she was so wealthy, that she must be high up in that company, but I hadn't realized until that moment that she was the company. So that kind of made it slightly boring, and because I thought that was the secret, until Matthew comes in and just, throws everything out of the loop and essentially tells her that he was never her match, that he, because he's a techie guy, goes into the system, ruins everything, and really was lying the whole time and pretending to be her match. And it was really just a whole act of revenge. I really enjoyed that. I ended up really liking Matthew, and I was honestly kind of pissed off that she ends up killing Matthew in the end. I wanted Matthew to live because he ended up being like Christopher, one of my favorite characters in the whole thing. And I think it would have been more interesting at the end if Matthew had lived, if people like rallied around Matthew and brought her down, because you know she's gonna go down. But I just would have preferred if Matthew was at the end taking in all of the glory. Now, a couple of stories in here didn't really have any thriller aspect to it really at all. Like Jade, who is matched with a man named Kevin, and she shows up and he doesn't want to see her, and it's because he is dying, and she marries him and ends up being paired with his brother in the end. I thought that was a kind of sweet story about what you will do for kindness and what you will do for family. That was okay. And then Nick's story as well was interesting in the sense that you know, he was actually matched with a man, and he was engaged to a woman, and meets this man and like has all of the tingles and all of the things that makes him know that this Alex guy is actually his one. I thought it was kind of mean in some ways that he kept it a secret from his fiance that he was meeting with Alex and stuff, but at the end of the day, what Sally did by really setting him up with all of this, because she ended up being matched with one of their close friends, I thought that that was much more mean in the long run. I liked that they ended up raising the baby together, Alex and Nick. I thought that was a nice little ending. And then Mandy's storyline took a twist that I did not expect, and I really enjoyed that, and watching that story arc where, you know, Mandy is matched with a man who ends up being dead, and she goes to his funeral and she's like mourning this man that she never knew. She gets really close to his family and ends up being pregnant with his sperm donations. And I liked that ended up being a bit thrillery, that she ended up having this weird relationship with the family, finding out that her one true love was actually alive, but essentially comatose. And I liked that her mother-in-law ended up being the villain. The one thing I will say about that whole storyline was I didn't like that her mother-in-law was a villain, mostly because she had experienced infertility and multiple miscarriages and stuff. And as someone who has experienced infertility, my daughter was conceived through IVF. It's something that's overdone in the thriller genre, and it's kind of hurtful if I'm being honest. So I don't like that, but I liked the rest of her storyline a lot. And then I liked that at the end, of course, Matthew blows up this whole company, and everyone starts looking at each other wondering if they really are matches, because Matthew has gone in, done his techie thing, and screwed up the matches, so you don't know whether you are actually matched with your match or not, and he ruins the company. I liked at the end kind of going back and being like, so who are the people that were the one, and is there even a one? Is that possible? I kind of landed on like Jade and Kevin, was it? Yeah, Jade and Kevin being matched, and then Alex and Nick being matched, but that might just be how their stories were written and me wanting them to be matched. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below who you think would actually be matched. I don't know. Do I even believe in that stuff? I don't know. But I really did. It was a fun read. I personally can't wait to watch the show. I'm gonna watch it as soon as I can. Probably make my husband watch it with me, and then we can have all of these discussions between the two of us. So let me know in the comments below, have you read the book? Also, are you going to watch the show, or are you coming to me because you watched the show? I'd love to know all of your thoughts and what you made of this whole weird world that John Mars has created. I hope you are doing well. Again, if you liked this video, hit the like button and definitely subscribe. I'd love to have you here. And I'll chat with you soon. Bye, guys.